What could have happened to Becky after she went missing?
Hey, sir, so please talk around. Here's my daughter's gone missing. No one has seen her, no. We phoned around the family, all her friends have contacted us, asking where she is, and none of them know. What's her name? Becky Watts.
Can you imagine a young girl disappearing without a trace, leaving her family hopeless for answers?
Please come home. We love you so much.
This is the tragic story of Becky Watts. But who was she, and what exactly happened to her? Rebecca Watts, known as Becky Watts, was a 16-year-old bright student living in Bristol with her dad, Darren Galsworthy, and his wife, Angie. Becky's father, Darren Galsworthy, and mother, Tanya, had split up when she was born in 1998. She had taken care of Becky when she was a baby, but later started living with her father and brother, Dan.
I want a drink ready.
No, it's fine.
Dad, dude, I'm taking half of this.
In 2013, her father married Angie, who had a son, Nathan. They were living as a family like any other in the bustling city of Bristol in the year 2015. However, they had no idea how their lives would nearly be turned upside down. It was the morning of February 19th, 2015, when Becky Watts was last seen at her home in St. George, Bristol.
It's quite strange how it came about, actually, because I was, regardless of how me and Becky's mother were getting on, I always stayed in their life. I'd have them at least three nights of the week.
It was a typical morning when her stepmother, Angie Galsworthy, who battled multiple sclerosis, had checked Becky before she left for a hospital appointment around 11:15 a.m. As the hours passed and Becky failed to return home, her family started being worried about her. They searched frantically for her, but there was no sign of Becky. Panic started to set in as they realized that something was terribly wrong. She was declared missing at approximately 4 p.m. the next day, following an investigation from the authorities. What could have happened to Becky after she went missing? Authorities discovered some of her things, such as her laptop and phone, were gone from her residence, suggesting she might have taken them by herself. However, it was observed that she left her house without taking any money or clothes. There had been no prior communication with her family.
With Danny, he was fine. Absolutely fine with Danny. They just went straight up into the bedroom and started on the video games and things. But no, he never bothered much with Becky at all.
She had to go somewhere. Why do you think she left without taking any money or spare clothing?
She'd been called home from your friends, phone us, please, just confirm who you are.
On February 22nd, Avon and Somerset police issued their initial public appeal for information regarding her disappearance. The urgency escalated when her father and grandmother made an emotional plea for her safe return at a press conference the following day. In a coordinated effort to garner support, an online campaign using the hashtag #FindBecky gained traction on various social media platforms, ultimately reaching an astounded 2 million people worldwide. What efforts were being made by law enforcement to find Becky? Every corner of the city was scoured to find any clue that could lead to Becky's whereabouts. The mystery surrounding Becky's disappearance deepened as days turned into weeks. Despite exhaustive efforts from the police and the community, there were no concrete leads in the search for Becky.
She was fainting. She had zero strength at all. Some nights she couldn't even get up over the stairs I carried her up.
Her family was left to grapple with the uncertainty and fear of not knowing what had happened to their beloved daughter and sister. How did they find Becky? Well, just when it seemed like all hope was lost, shocking revelations began to emerge in the case.
She was assuming it was Becky going out.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it was Becky going out.
Okay. No one saw her go, but
No.
just heard the door go,
Yeah.
and the assumption that Becky had left.
Yeah.
It was discovered that Becky's own stepbrother, Nathan Matthews, and his girlfriend, Shauna Hoare, were somehow involved in her disappearance.
I heard the door slam, front door. Again, I didn't look at the time or think anything of it, so I didn't really kind of like, oh, what was that? It was just the door, so Becky would have gone out.
I've accidentally got this in the wrong order here.
Okay.
But how did Becky's stepbrother and his girlfriend become suspect? As the investigation progressed, puzzle pieces started falling into place. As we know, at first, people got worried when Becky disappeared from her family's house. Her stepbrother, Nathan Matthews, and his girlfriend, Shauna Hoare, were there, but they said they didn't see her, just heard the door close, thinking she left.
Are you thinking that's the front door that's slammed? Yeah, okay. And who did you think that was then?
Well, Becky.
But their explanations didn't ease worries. Things got more serious when Nathan and Shauna were arrested on February 28th because of Becky's disappearance.
The reason I've come here is to make an arrest of yourself, okay?
Your hands like that for me, alright?
Then, on March 2nd, they were arrested again, this time for suspicion of murder. Sadly, the next day, Becky's body, which had been cut up, was found at a place in Barton Court, Barton Hill. She had more than 40 injuries on her body, and it was found that she was suffocated before they chopped off her body. The news shocked and saddened the entire community. But why would Nathan and Shauna commit such a crime? Both Nathan and Shauna had some sort of sexual obsession with petite teenagers. In fact, just a few weeks before mercilessly murdering Becky, Nathan and his girlfriend, they had a conversation where they discussed kidnapping girls.
But you bring me back two pretty small girls then. D1, I think that says. Tell me about that text message.
And the rest is history. So, was justice served? Nathan was charged with the murder on March 4th, the next day after Becky's dismembered body was found, while Shauna was charged with murder on June 22nd. Well, in the court of law, the full extent of Nathan Matthews and Shauna Hoare's actions was laid bare for all to see. They were charged with Becky's murder and faced trial for their heinous crimes. The courtroom was filled with emotion as Becky's father confronted the people responsible for her death. Nathan was found guilty of murdering Becky and was sentenced to life with a minimum term of 33 years.
Do I have to actually listen to it and I put the fingers in my ears? Yep, okay, thank you.
I, Nathan Charles Matthews, accept I'm responsible for the death of Rebecca Watts.
Shauna, his accomplice and girlfriend, was convicted of Becky's manslaughter and received a 17-year prison sentence.
Point clear, as far as the kidnap's concerned, you are not aware that Nathan was trying to do that in that day.
According to the judge, Nathan agreed with what the prosecution believed, that the entire kidnapping took place for a sexual purpose. Not just that, Nathan had a fixation with having sex with petite teenage girls.
Stepbrother of the schoolgirl Becky Watts has been found guilty of her murder.
Moreover, it was also said that Shauna had been persuaded to participate in this fixation. Besides being charged with Becky's murder, they were also charged with 4 unrelated counts of taking indecent pictures of children that firmly convinced they were sexual predators. Despite their attempts to appeal, their efforts were fruitless in June 2016. In this matter, the Court of Appeals said, "No reasonable argument that the convictions are unsafe or that the sentences were wrong in principle or manifestly excessive." The judges overseeing the case upheld their sentences, asserting that there were no grounds to suggest the convictions were unsafe or unjust. This decision undoubtedly underscored the seriousness of the crimes and the accountability each offender faced. So, did something happen after that? Unfortunately, Shauna was released on September 1st, 2023, after serving around half her sentence. The release of Shauna Hoare is a slap on Becky's family and loved ones, whose pain remains raw. Indeed, such moments are stark reminders of the irreversible loss they've endured. Though Becky may be gone, she will never be forgotten, her spirit living on in the hearts of those who hold her dear.